Angel Doves, we are live on all the platforms, and today I want to talk to you about the need for approval from other people and other bad things that are holding you back. Okay? That's not the word that I wanted to use, but I will keep it clean for all the socials. So, yesterday I basically spoke about the rejection protection protocol, which is how to use comedy techniques to get over the need for approval. And I am, or the need for approval, or feeling rejected. I'm going to go over that again today. I also want to talk to you about comedy and our approach to failure, how comedians and improv comedians see failure. And I finally want to talk to you about um, the difference between being taught these techniques by an actual comedian as opposed to AI. Okay, so let's start off with this rejection protection protocol. So I've recently gone through a learning period, a tough period, whatever you want to call it, where I felt some rejection. Okay, I felt rejected. I felt like I was doing something for the need of approval. I didn't get that approval that I needed, and I felt unseen, right? Which for me seems to be a common theme that comes up every few I don't know, months, years, whatever it is, but like comes up. And the reason it comes up is obviously I've got some lessons to learn. I got some things I need to deal with, because otherwise it wouldn't be coming up over and over and over again. So I have now created this rejection protection protocol that I am going to be following, that I actually have been following in the past, and it's been helping. It's been helping. And the first step of that protocol that I created is to breathe and ask, or breathe and respond. Now, what I mean by that is when you are feeling rejected, when you are feeling the need for approval for others, when you approval of others, when you are needing, like, you have to have some sort of outside validation, I want you to stop, to breathe, to go to that version of you that is in pain and comfort that version. Say, okay, I see that you're feeling the pain that you're feeling. You go through whatever you got to go through. But I want you to then shift into the highest version of yourself. And how do you do that? You say to yourself, if I was complete and whole in this moment, if I could stand in my superpower and know my greatness and know how wonderful I was and know how great I was, how would I respond to this situation from there? Okay, so respond from your highest self. So you're going to breathe and you're going to ask, what is it that I need to learn? What is the lesson that I need to learn from this? And you ask that question from your higher self. Okay, step 1 of the protocol. Step 2 of the protocol is to be grateful for these situations, these failures, these setbacks, however you see them, that have come into your life, because they are here to teach you a lesson that will allow you to evolve, that will allow you to quantum leap, that will allow you to experience the bliss, the superpower of who you are. So step number 2 is to be grateful. How do we be grateful for our failures? We do something called a failure CV. Now, I got this exercise from a student that I was teaching at Harvard, and I was like, if this is what they teach at Harvard Business School, this is the sort of thing that I would be happy to learn, because if it's good enough for Harvard Business School students, it's good enough for me too. And basically, it is you take a CV template. I've got one that I can send you, okay? Comment template, and I will send you the CV template. And basically, you are going to fill out this failure CV with as much passion, emotion, and energy as you would a CV as if you were looking for a job. And on the CV, you are going to put every single failure that you have ever experienced, every setback, every challenging moment in your life. You are going to then write the lesson that you learned and the door that was opened because of it. You do this experiment, and you tell me that you have not shifted, moved, changed, evolved, grown in some sort of way from that experience. Okay? Now, when we say rejection protection protocol, okay, the third step that will make you feel unshakably confident, give you the protection from the rejection, give you the knowing that you are an incredible being, and this is your superpower, this is your destiny, and the rejection cannot affect you, right? Is the third step, which I like to call a portfolio of brilliance. Now, what is your portfolio of brilliance? Your portfolio of brilliance is going to be any moment in your life, or your career, wherever, or your relationships, where you have felt complete and utter bliss, where you were operating from your creative flow, your zone of genius, your comedic genius, okay? That part of you that knew that you were the light, okay? That you were the superpower, or that knew you were standing in your superpower. You're going to make note of that experience, and you're going to write down what it felt like, the feelings of being in that moment. And if you do steps 1, steps 2, steps 3, step 1, step 2, step 3, that's it, of this protocol, and you tell me that you are still needing approval from others, well, I don't know. I don't know what else to do to help you and assist you. What I can tell you is, by implementing this protocol, I have been able to get over the need for approval in my life, and I'm saying approval from others, okay? I have been able to, and when I say get over it, I've been able to go, okay, I've sat in the pain of rejection, but no longer am I going to let this rejection define me. No longer am I going to let this rejection or the approval of others keep me small. Now, let me tell you something, angel doves. I have spent the last 15 years as an actor, as a comedian, as a performer, and there is loads of rejection in this industry, as I'm sure there is loads of rejection in whatever industry you guys are in as well. Okay? And it's not only a career thing, it's a relationship thing as well. All right? But I want you to know that there is a way to move on. There is a way to stop the rejection before it holds you back or changes the trajectory of your life or makes you feel like you're not good enough, you can't do this, you have imposter syndrome, and you're not meant to be here. Okay? So before it gets to that stage, you need to stop it and transform this energy. Okay, so that is the rejection protection protocol. Then some of you, I was speaking to some people who like were responding yesterday from my live, and they were talking to me about failure and how improv and comedy sees failure. And I was speaking to a student of mine, and she was talking about like, I feel like I'm failing because I just can't make a decision. I just don't know what the right decision is. And the truth is, we don't know what the right decision is in anything that we do. We don't know how things are going to turn out. We can't tell the future, right? But I think what improv comedy has done for me is it's turned me into a master decision maker. And what I mean by master decision maker is I can make a decision so quickly and so easily and get behind that decision with complete and utter certainty. And does it mean that I'm still failing? Absolutely. Does it mean that possibly I'm failing more? Yes. But does it mean that because I am making decisions quicker with a lot of certainty, it means that I am getting back on my feet a lot quicker with a lot of certainty? So improv comedy, because the first rule of improv is yes and, you have to make a decision when you're in front of a live audience in that moment, right there, and you have to completely and utterly buy into that decision with 100% certainty. And what that has allowed me to do is that has allowed me to become a master decision maker, to go, I'm making this decision, I'm going all in. It's either going to work or it's not going to work, but I'm going to bounce back and I'm going to try again. Now, in other industries, people call this pivoting. They call this, I don't know what else they call it, but whatever, getting up, trying again. You would never say to a toddler who is trying or learning how to work or learning how to walk, right, you have 3 months. If you do not do it in the 3 months, you're a complete and utter failure, and it's time to get up. It's time to give up and, maybe consider a different mode of transportation or mode of mobility, whatever the hell you want to call it. You would never do that to a toddler. Okay? So putting those expectations on yourself is also ridiculous. All right? So we need to become master decision makers who are able to go all in with 100% certainty, knowing and believing in our superpower and believing that no matter what happens, it is for the greater good of our journeys, of our lives, of ourselves, and we will be okay. And we will be okay. Okay? It took Thomas Edison 10,000 experiments and tries and times before he learned or before he discovered the light bulb. Okay? And those 9,999 other times, right? He discovered how not to make the light bulb. All right? So the way we as improvisers and comedians see failure is we see failure as an opportunity, as something that needs to be embraced. It's an opportunity for comedy to happen. So when people say to me, Claudine, I'm in tax, what do I need to know about being funny? What do I need to know about being, why do I need to learn comedy? I don't want to be a stand-up comedian. And to that I say, you don't need to be a stand-up comedian. to learn comedy. In fact, not everybody should be doing comedy. Not everybody is funny. Not everybody is supposed to be on stage. And that is not, I'm not promoting that at all. I'm saying, to be an actual comedian, you have to be extremely gifted and talented in, performing and, delivering jokes and writing jokes and all of that. But I'm saying that if you are in any other type of business or life or anything, it is important to learn and master these comedy techniques because it keeps you open and receptive. It teaches you how to fail. It teaches you how to go in with 100% certainty, to have certainty in your superpowers, certainty in your decision making, embracing failure. Another reason why it's so powerful is, someone said to me, Claudine, I could learn comedy from a marketing guru and somebody who writes funny ads, or I could learn comedy from a comedian. Why, if I'm in business, would I not want to learn from the marketing guru who uses AI as opposed to the comedian? And the reason you want to learn from the comedian and not the marketing guru who uses AI to make comedy is because comedy teaches you, being a comedian teaches you how to read a room, how to understand your audience, how to get into the heads of your audience, how to speak their language, how to get them laughing, how to ensure that you create adoring fans that keep coming back for more because you're able to read a room and read your audience. So, today, we have covered the rejection protection protocol. We've covered improv comedy and comedy's perspective on failing and why failure is so important. We've covered why and how improv and comedy is the most effective tool when it comes to decision making, and also why it's the most effective tool in marketing and business, because it teaches you how to read a room. Angel doves, if any of this has resonated with you, I want you to like, I want you to share, I want you to subscribe, I want you to ask questions in the comments, I want you to go crazy, okay? Let me know that you are here, you are listening, you are alive, and you are with me. For those of you guys who know my story, I have moved to London and I am basically building a new tribe in a new town, okay? I am using my experience over the last decade and a half, okay, working with billion-dollar companies to help make them funny and help make their brands funny. And I am sharing that information, that gold, that comedy gold with you, okay? So if you guys want to get started immediately on this journey and you guys want to start implementing comedy and creating content, comedic content that converts like crazy, I want you to go get my comedy cash flow formula. Okay, my brain just went quiet for a moment. My comedy cash flow formula. I will drop a link in the comments, a link in my bio, where you can go and get the comedy content, the comedy cash flow formula, where you can start creating comedic content that converts like crazy. I also have a bonus script in there which will allow you to reach out and collaborate with the brands of your dreams, so you can be creating comedic content for them as well. Why is comedy content so important and so important for brands? Because your customers are 72% more likely to buy from a brand that uses humor, that uses comedy. It is such an important tool in terms of allowing you to stand out as a brand, you know, especially if you are in a red ocean. Is it a red ocean or a blue ocean? I don't know what it is, but like I'm trying to say, especially when you are in a huge marketplace where everybody else is doing the same thing and they're putting out the same bloody ads and they're putting out the same content, how are you going to stand out? So if you want to stand out in terms of your content, in your branding, I want you to go and get the Comedy Cash Flow Formula now. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Angel Doves, remember to stay hilarious.